The Glory Game, brought to you by Hull Spurs, an official Tottenham supporters group.
Right, okay. Welcome to the Spurs podcast, brought to you by the official Hull Spurs supporters group. This week we're joined by Andy.
Hello.
We're joined by Simon.
Evening.
We're joined by Kirstylee.
Hi.
And we're joined by a very special guest, Summer.
Hi.
So it's been a pretty uneventful week in terms of Spurs news.
Has it?
It has been in regards to like the previous 2 weeks where it seemed like everything happened in one. Just to recap, we've since the last podcast, we've had a cup final which we lost, which I don't think we want to talk about because it was terrible. We've beaten Sheffield United 4-0, which was a good result. I think we beat Southampton as well, actually. And we go into the game tomorrow against Leeds United. So first of all, we'll just quickly talk about that Sheffield United game. What did everyone think?
I'm glad that we won it. I'd have been pretty pissed off if we didn't. Sorry, am I allowed to say that on here?
Yeah, you can say what you want.
Good. I didn't know if there was a rules or out like that. But
Nope.
Yeah, I think that it'd have been pretty bad if we didn't, especially against a team like Sheffield.
I mean, they've been relegated. It would have been embarrassing.
That's
So-
Spurs all over, though.
Yeah, that's us all over. That's
Yeah.
It's a Spursy thing to do.
So for me, I thought it was a professional performance. You know, nothing exciting. They just went, they got the job done. Brilliant to see Gareth Bale and Dele playing with smiles on their faces. Apart from Bale, I don't think anybody was particularly outstanding, but they got the job done. You know,
Yeah.
As I said,
Yeah, I
it's
like that. It's good to
it's-
see smiles. That's
Yeah.
the thing I was happy about. Smiles and goals. We've
And
lacked
Nusa
that
Yeah.
for 2 years. Oh, look,
It's
Kane had a
about
really
time we
poor
won
game.
one.
Sorry.
What do you think?
It's about time we won one. Oh, go.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was just
sometimes when you
mentioning
play
about
teams
Kane.
that have already been relegated, they always seem to play the best football when they should have played a lot earlier. So to win them against Sheffield United, yeah, you'll take it whatever score.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Because you know what it's like, don't you? You think, oh yeah, you got an easy 3 points here.
It's a
then
banana
you take
skin,
them,
yeah.
because not to play for.
They're a poor team, though, aren't they, Sheffield United?
Yeah.
They are.
They're really poor.
They have definitely been this season.
Second season syndrome, innit?
Yep.
Yeah, you
Got
kind
to
of
go
saw
up.
that with City, didn't you, a few
Yeah.
years ago when they was in the Premier League? Yeah, it was
What's to
poor.
say? They lost the manager was it January when
Oh,
Chris
it's
Wilder
late, wasn't it?
went?
When it later
Yeah.
than that, when it March.
I know, yeah, it was weird, wasn't it? Just a real odd one that hadn't been relegated, and then they got rid of the manager. Oh, well, then again, saying that, we're specialised in that, and we're getting rid of a manager a week before a cup final. So, yeah, let's rewind. Carry on.
What do you think's Kane? Do you think his body language looks a bit? He looked a bit pissed off the last few games. I know he didn't play against Southampton, but yeah, he looked a bit fed up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me. We wasn't playing our best, to be honest. And I think he struggled a bit against Sheffield. Like you could see he was trying, but his shots were a bit off. I think he was just angry with some of the results.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's
Yeah.
it's come out and been a little bit more positive. I think it was yesterday or something. He came out and said that because he came out and said that he wanted to win trophies, the media and everything took it as he was definitely going to leave. I think there was a report from an unnamed Premier League director or something that came out and said that he was definitely going as well, to a reporter. So obviously there's the media are dying for us to sell him. Do you think he'll go?
No.
No.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did, because obviously, like you say, he does want to win trophies and things, but I don't think he'd go.
I don't think he'll go.
I don't think they'll let him.
I think the problem you've got, I think he will go, and I think we'll only get 90 million, like it's been touted.
Why do you think that?
Because I think, leave you what, whoever comes in won't give him enough money, but it probably says to the manager, look, if you sell your best player, that 90 million goes back to you, plus whatever transfer fee I can give you, transfer money. So you'll have like a double kitty, won't he?
I'll go with what the girl said. I mean, my opinion, I've been quite vocal on it. Says I don't think he'll go because I don't think any club will afford him.
Yeah.
And I think Levy will probably, or he'll get the captain's armband next season, because I think Hugo will go. He'll get the captain's armband with a little bit of a sweetener, and a bit like what we did with Modric is give us another year. Give us another year, and nothing happens, you can go next summer. So
it might be down to the young manager. The manager might want to say, well, I can get a better striker or whatever.
But then, I mean, saying that though, so whatever manager comes in, if says sell Harry Kane, is pissed off the fans straight away. You know, he's got the fans on his back.
Well, he might not be the manager's decision.
And he's not bothered, is he?
I think they'll build a team around Kane, Son, and Hugo, and maybe Højbjerg.
Yeah.
And Bale. I think Bale's going to stay. And the thing is,
I agree.
One of the questions that come up, it's pinching. I'm sorry, I'm all papaperwork. I try and look professional. It said I think it was one of the dude. I can't even find it now. But it says what players get rid of the deadwood. I think it was, or something along those lines. To me, it's, and again, I've said this previously. It's about who you're going to keep. I think every player's got a price, but you go Son, as I say, Son, Kane, Højbjerg. After that, I think if a bid comes in, everybody else.
Yeah.
But they're like our crown jewels. Don't get rid of them. And anybody else, if the right fee comes in, get rid.
Yeah, I think he'll stay. I think the fact that he's come out in the last couple of days and said that he's still quite young and he's got plenty of time to win trophies, I think that kind of tells me that he's at least got another year at Spurs.
Yeah.
Got 3 years left on his contract. We could quite easily get, I don't know, up to 75 million for him next season.
Yep.
So it'd be daft to sell him now.
It was the question actually that we'll give the shout outs for it but one that Kirstylee organised on Twitter. Which deadwood do we need to get rid this summer? And it's from Luke Amos. So shout out to him. And as I say, I think it's more who you're going to keep. And
I think if you've listened to any previous podcasts, I think everyone would know exactly the players. And I think all Spurs fans know which players would get rid of.
Yeah.
I think the question for me is how far do you go with that list? Because if you got rid of them all now, I'd say there's about 8 or 9 players there that you'd have to get rid of. Do you think that's too big of an ask in one summer transfer window to get rid of everyone that we don't want?
No, I think it needs to happen.
Not if you put the right price tag on them.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there. I think you're
completely agree.
Thing is, you get rid of 8 players, you've got to get 8 players back, and you to fill them positions.
Yeah.
But
the players you get rid of, the players you get in, and they cost more.
Look at the players that we've got though, and there's this thought process running through the club that there's some poison in the dressing room. Going on the Amazon documentary, Mourinho said straight away, says, okay, he's a leader in that dressing room. Now, he was playing when he was absolutely dire at times, in Mourinho's tenure, and everybody's thinking, has he got photos of Mourinho doing some dodgy shit? It's why was he getting picked? But is he the bad apple? Is it the little French contingent like it was under, before Poch came in with Adebayor, Kabul, says Poch came in and got rid of them. So 8 players, if it's the correct 8 players to get rid. Yeah. We need a better thought process going through the club. Got to start somewhere, start on the pitch.
We know that historically though, we really struggled shipping these players out, and that's why we've had these players for so long. Players like Aurier, he's only been at the club about 3 or 4 years, but I think he's well past his sell-by date. Sissoko's well past his sell-by date. Dyer, for me, we should sell him.
Simon, do you want to step in and defend him?
What, Aurier?
No, Dyer.
Oh, no. Well, Mourinho might be taking him to Roma with him.
Yeah.
I hope he does.
Well, so far today, I think Mourinho, he said he's going for Højbjerg, Lamela, and Dyer. So he's taking those 3.
But doesn't that
I think you put more in with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I've heard about Lucas as well.
But do you think that just shows you for what a sham the press is? Because he's not even taken the job yet. How would they know who we wanted? It's just journalism, isn't it? But
years ago, I mean, going back into old man mode, when I used to work in travel, I used to deal with a football agency. I won't mention names or anything, but we had to raise an invoice, and it was a time when Peter Reid was manager of Leeds United, and all the press were reporting that Peter Reid and XYZ agent are going out to look at this particular player, and they were so far from the truth it was unreal, because we had to put the player's name on the invoice to send through to the company to pay, and they were so far from the truth it was unreal. And as you say,
didn't even know who the players was half the time, did you?
Oh yeah, they did, because they usually bill their agents as well. So
No, as in if you saw that name, you wouldn't even know who the player was because.
This one, it was yeah. I mean, it was quite at the time. It was quite it was quite a famous American player at the time. You know, and again, you know, the Americans they're not particularly renowned at football, so he was one of the big names coming out of the States at the time. So you know, it's the rest of the team you never heard of, but yeah, he was one that you named. But yeah, as you say, it's lazy journalism. And as we've said repeatedly on every podcast, the media just love beating us with a big stick. So, you know, what do you do?
So coming back to what you were saying, Summer, about selling them for the right price. If we sold all the players that we need to sell, I bet we'd be looking at 80, 90 million quid. People like Davinson Sanchez, it's at what price are we going to sell him at? What kind of figures do you think we should be selling him at?
Oh, I think he's past his best. So I wouldn't sell him for a lot. But I think he's still got a little bit in him to give. Like, I don't think he's got enough to give to Spurs at the minute. I don't think he's had the right manager come in and help him. Jose definitely, I don't think, done his best to get him to where he needed to be. So I don't think he would go for what he was worth.
So what did we pay? Was it 42 million? I think we paid for Sanchez, didn't we? So
do you know what's really difficult is we're in such a weird time now because we're getting a new manager, so you can see that the team now have had a bit of a bounce and they've won 2 on the trot. And if they win tomorrow, I don't think there's any other Spurs manager in Premier League history that's won three in the row, is there, on the first 3 games. So you almost start regressing and thinking, oh well, actually some of these players are all right. It was just the previous manager that never got it out of them. I think there's a real danger of that because it means that we hold on to these players that are just going to let us down once again. Players like Dyer, and they've had the chances under 2 managers now, and they're just not doing it every time.
Yeah, I don't think Dyer is good enough.
Yeah, that's something I can agree with that. Definitely agree with you on that one.
I think it's going to be difficult as well, transfers in this summer window, because a lot of clubs have got no money, or they've not got the money that they'd had previous years. I think we're going to be looking at a lot of free transfers and stuff. Would you take Boateng from Bayern Munich? Because we've been linked with him for free.
Yeah, I would. I think he's a very good player.
I think he's got something to offer. You know, so even if he comes in and is, you know, you can just imagine between Boateng and Toby bringing through Rodon and Tanganga, you know, just alongside just their experience to bring those 2 through. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good sign. A lot of Spurs fans have said that they wouldn't have him though, which I can't really understand because the alternative is Dyer and Sanchez. we all know how that turns out. We've obviously been linked with some more defenders. We've been linked with Milenkovic from Fiorentina, Vestergaard from Southampton, Anderson from Lyon. There's not that many names that stand out for me. Is there anyone that anyone thinks that we should be going for in the summer? Centre half, that is.
This conversation.
Not that I can think of.
You know, I'm going to say, don't you? Ben White.
Ben White from Brighton.
Yeah. I think he'd slot straight in there at Spurs.
I think he will.
Not a bad shout.
Leeds fans loved him when he was there. They absolutely. I mean, my mate, he's older than me, and he said he wanted a white shirt. You know, get the Leeds shirt with white on the back, and he said, "This is I just absolutely love him." And the Leeds fans absolutely adored him. Class player,
Is he a Leeds lad?
No, I don't think so. They just took him on loan from Brighton, and obviously he played in their squad, got them, helped them get promotion, and then Brighton took him back. I think Leeds offered 25 million for him to buy at the end of his loan deal, but Brighton rejected it. But then on the other side of it, I know it's another question that's coming up, so jumping guns a little bit, but if the rumours about Graham Potter being, one of the favourites now for our manager's job, will he bring him along?
May bring Dunk as well.
Well, we'll come on to the managing stuff in a bit, because it seems like that's quite a good one to get our teeth sunk into. I just can't see us shelling out any more than 25 million for that guy then. And if they've already turned that down, I think we're going to be spending 20 to 25 million on a centre half, not 40, 50.
I think out the names that you mentioned, and again, we've commented on this, Anderson, who's been at Fulham, he's on loan from Lyon, I think he is, and Vestergaard from Southampton. There's just something about Vestergaard I like. It just looks proper ad git, I know he got sent off last week and got rescinded, but I think it just looks a quality defender, and I think in a better team around him, he could excel.
Yeah, I like what I've seen of him. I think he looks pretty good. I've seen that Barcelona are trying to sell, is it Umtiti? The French centre half?
Sorry, I go into child mode every time I see that. And the same as that kid from Leicester, and Didi.
I'd take him though. I'd definitely take him.
Yeah.
I'll call the Barley.
Yeah, absolutely. There are some players out there. You just don't know how the market's going to focus. What do we do first? Do we start looking at players? Do we get the manager in? You just don't know how it's going to fall. And if Levy doesn't pull his finger out of his ass, we're going to get left behind again, and we're going to be sat there on, start of the season with no players. And
that's why we need the manager in now.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Once the season starts, finishes, the manager can start planning.
Well, let's talk about that then. So we've been linked with loads of people. Apparently, loads of managers have turned us down, which I think is bullshit. Because I don't think we've offered it to anyone yet. It seems like it's slim pickings for managers as well. Who are we going to get, and who do you think we should get? I'll start with you, Summer.
I think at the moment, I wanted Nagelsmann, but we're not getting him. I think our best bet could either be to stay with Mason, purely because he knows the team now, and we're near enough at the end of the season. If we buy in the transfer window, then he could really work on the squad, building and making them have that close connection, and then hope for the best for it to work next season. But I think I don't want Sarri at all.
Nope.
he can stay where he is.
Well, apparently Arsenal are being linked with
Potter
him now,
either.
so he might be heading to North London after all.
Good, let him have him. I hope he sets fire to with his fags.
Another one who wins trophies, though. I mean, he won the league title at Juventus. He won the UEFA Cup at Chelsea. I mean,
trophies? Who wants trophies?
Clearly not. It's been 13 years.
So you'd keep Ryan Mason in there then?
Yeah, I think he's probably our best bet.
Yeah, I agree with that, Summer.
I think we've seen a lot in the last. There's been a lot of stuff put out by the club in the last week, hasn't there? Of like training videos, and I was watching something with Chris Powell in last night, who was obviously his assistant, who was a Spurs fan, and it seems like they're kind of putting it out there as this romantic. He's a Spurs boy. It feels like they're setting it up for. This is the new manager now.
Yeah.
Problem I've got with Mason is, would he be able to attract the big players? Because you get some players that want to play for a manager, certain managers, don't they? But will Mason be able to attract them?
I think the Spurs is still a draw. Like we've said before about these players that we want to get rid of. We've got a fantastic training facility. We've got a fantastic stadium. We're playing decent wages. Is the manager the be-all and end-all? I just don't think it is anymore. Some of the, like I said, these players that we want rid of, they're comfy. You know, they're too comfy, and you know, so I don't know if you know. I know what you're saying about him not being a draw, but I don't know. I think there's a bigger draw living in
Could
London.
go down the other road, keep Mason, and get a good director of football who sorts all that out.
Well, there was a comment actually on one of the Twitter feeds the other day, and as you know about Twitter, it's bloody minefield at best of times. But it said, "What about Scott Parker with Mason and Ledley?" You know, it's like a little trio.
I don't know. I mean, who's in charge though? That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is Parker as manager, but then Mason and Ledley as like the first team coaches on, you know, alongside.
I quite like the idea
But
of
again, you know,
I like the idea of a director of football, though, Simon. I like that Ralph Ragnick. Apparently, he's influenced a lot of coaches in Germany. I think he could be interesting to bring that kind of philosophy. The thing with Scott Parker is he's not got too much more experience than Mason, really, and Mason's got none.
Yeah, it is so difficult. Like you said, I think with the way the media is working at the minute, they seem to be buttering us up for it. You know, so I mean, imagine that we do get top four. He manages it, and we get top four. What do you do? This is the fans will start loving him, and you start this romance, and then next season they don't get backed in the transfer window, and come August, September, we're in the same shit.
Exactly what I was going to say. That I mean, you only have to look at Arteta, and he started off really brightly. He won a trophy, and now look at what's happened. And he's kind of been part of a really successful coaching team as well. So he's got that knowledge, probably more so than Mason. Just think if Mason got the job, you might see a couple of months worth of good football, but once it's the bad times and the bad results, we'll all be sat there saying, why have we appointed a manager who's not even got managerial experience? It's a really difficult situation.
Yeah. I still think there's a surprise in there. You know, I know Ten Hag, Ajax took a year option on him. Just means that if we want him, we'd have to pay a bit more. You know, I still like the sound of him. Brendan Rodgers, although he's come out and said no. Leicester in an FA Cup final and challenging for top four. If he came out and says, yes, I'm interested in speaking to Spurs, what's going to happen to them? So, and I still think there could be a surprise in there, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's Rodgers.
Yeah, I don't think he's actually ruled himself out. I think he's maybe waiting to the end of the season to see what happens with Leicester.
Yeah,
and if they, the problem I've thought about that though is if they don't get in the Champions League this season, and they don't win the FA Cup, it's quite a Spurs thing to do, that, isn't it? Fall at the last hurdle.
Yeah, so at least we're prepared for it.
Kirstylee, who would you bring in?
Mate, I'd like Rodgers. I think he's got a bit of a dickhead attitude like Jose, but I think he knows, like you say with Leicester, he knows to win and he knows what he wants to do and things. He's got the experience, but really, I think attitude-wise, players will listen to the likes of Mason because he's a Tottenham lad, isn't he? Like, he knows the players. He knows what the fans want in Tottenham. He knows, I don't know, I'd like to keep him and see how he gets on, personally. But it's the lack of experience that puts me off.
I was just going to say, there was these rumours about the Carling Cup final, weren't they, about Harry Winks. Why did Harry Winks start? And he's apparently, again, I can't
real good mates with him.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, saying this is, oh, come on, mate. It says, you know, start me in the cup final. I can't see it for a million years, but it just that's something that you had a doubt in your mind and you think, did it? You know, but at the end of the day, after that cup final, we was all looking for somebody to blame. You know, so, and is it just one of those things that I think, yeah, I can believe that. And so, yeah, I don't know.
As I say, I think as it stands now, I think he's good for Spurs because I think he's cleared all this. I think the thing with Mourinho is probably too tactical, and I think the players were probably lost in a sea of, you know, tactical, you know, taking that out on the pitch and knowing what the roles was, and I think they've been freed by that, and I think that's really good at this stage. However, I just think when it comes to difficult periods of a season, I'm not quite sure Ryan Mason would know how to get back on a winning track, or you know, I don't know. I just see what's happened to Arsenal, and I can see it.
The romance is there, isn't it? It says it's, you know, it says we've got the romance there, and we all love a bit of romance. And
Solskjaer's the same. Man United. Yeah. The difference is he's had millions and millions of pounds to get himself out of that tactical hole, because he probably hasn't got the experience. But he's gone out and bought an £85 million central defender. So we're never going to do that.
No.
Simon, who would you bring in?
Who would I bring in? I think it's a case of all Spurs want to bring in and who can they bring in. If I was going to go for a wild card, I'd go for the Southampton manager. I quite like him. I know he gets some good stuffings every now and again, but put him in a decent team. I'd like to see what he can do. But do you go for the old experienced manager, or do you go for the young up-and-coming manager like we've just been talking about?
You say about him from Southampton. I'm not even going to try and say his surname. I've had a beer. Hustle.
Yeah, Ralph.
But it says one name that hasn't been mentioned, and I've thrown it in a couple of polls here and there. And it's just Steve Bruce. He's Daniel Farker from Norwich.
Yeah.
You know, he's brought the absolute world out of Skippy this last season. I know it's only Championship, but you know, again, it's that what if scenario. But
don't you think it's a bit of a, we've gone from having Pochettino, Mourinho, and then we're looking at people like Farker and Potter, and it's a bit of a come down, isn't it? Don't you think?
Yeah,
it is. But do we need it? You know, like we say, says at the minute we've tried everything, haven't we? We've had the protege, we've had the up and coming, we've had the serial winner, and absolutely sod all has worked. So, what do we do? And as Simon said, I don't think it's a case of who we want. I think it's who wants to come to us now. So
get Gazza in charge. Imagine
turn up with his bucket of chicken and the six pack.
Yeah, on the jolly every night. Well, go on, lads. Get football tomorrow. Let's go in pub.
Yeah.
It'd be disaster.
It would be a disaster, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, people have said about Klinsmann as well, and I don't see Klinsmann. I don't see that being the answer.
I think we said last time, didn't we? Says, I mean, I'm old enough. Yeah, I mean, I'm old enough to remember when Alan Sugar got rid of Venables and the big falling out then, and he brought Ozzy Ardiles in. And, you know, it was all romance, you know, bringing in a former fan favourite, and it was an absolute disaster. You know, the opposition score 4, we'll score 5. It was just a disaster. And, yeah, it's like I say, it's easy to go for the romance, but I just don't know. But, I mean, I said when Levy appointed Mourinho, and again, I was very vocal on it, it has to be Levy's last chance. You know, what is it, 20 years ENIC have been in charge, 13 managers. And
well, that's actually leads on to, didn't you put something on the poll this week, Simon, about Kirstylee, wasn't it you who put something in the forum about the ENIC out thing? Did you put a post about fans
I can't
wanting?
Remember.
ENIC
I know
out?
that I'd have them out if I had the choice. I'd have them out. I think that they don't care about the fans, like everything that's happened as well. Like, they just don't care at all. They just care about themselves and the money and the profits. And obviously, we're not seeing any of it. The team aren't seeing any of it. I'd have ENIC out. I'd have Levy out as well. We've had a few questions actually about Levy, and obviously, like if we think that he's got any chance of leaving and stuff. Yeah.
Daniel leaving.
Mm.
Post that question now if you want. Let's.
Let's bring it on you.
I feel like I can do. I've got my little paper with me with all my questions on. It's someone called Julie Get on Twitter. She actually asked them any chance of Levy leaving. I don't think he will. I think he's comfortable with his money, and he's just going to want to. While we've got Harry Kane, especially, he's just going to keep wanting more and more. So I don't think he'll leave. What do you lot think?
I don't think he'll leave.
It'll take a massive offer to come in to buy the club for make him go.
Can I do pizza and be the statter? So, Enoch own 84% of Spurs, or just over 84% of Spurs. And the ownership of Enoch is 70.6% Joe Lewis and 29.4% Daniel Levy. The rumours were before Christmas, Joe Lewis had agreed to sell 50%. Now, I don't know if that was 50% of his share in Enoch or 50% of Spurs. It just wasn't released. And Daniel Levy wanted to retain control. So even if it was 50% of his share, that'd still be 35, which would put a new chairman in. So, 84% for Enoch on in the club. As you say, it's going to take somebody coming in buying 50% either of Enoch or one of the two shares and ousting him. And it'll be, I just don't know where the money is.
No, I don't think anyone would want to do it either. The way we've been performing, we beat Sheffield the other day. That was probably one of our best games in a while, but we should be beating them. Against the better teams, we've not really been up to scratch, and I think that's where people are going to think, right, I don't want to give that team our money because they're not showing us that they want it.
We've gone back 5 years, haven't we? We've gone back to when Poch took over. This is where we thought we'd go to Emirates or Etihad or Old Trafford and think we could nick something, we could get a draw and come back. And now you just think we don't stand a chance. And we've gone back that 5 years. Those 5 teams have accelerated past us, and we've sort of stagnated and been where we are. And it needs that investment. And Enoch aren't going to do it. But what do? Do we just accept that 6th place is our lot, and every now and again we'll scrape in?
Look at the Champions League final. How they got there to the final? Money.
Yeah.
Money buys you
That
trophies.
Champions League final is money, and it is just money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
fair play to them. The chairman's giving the manager money to buy the players. You get the best players, and you end up at the top of the league, don't you?
Yeah. So in my answer to the question is, will Levy leave? No, I don't think for a while. And going back to podcast 1, and I got accused of being the Grim Reaper and wanting to go on Mr. Lewis. The best thing we can hope for is Joe Lewis to pop his clogs. Sorry, but if he goes, then his family will take over and they'll do whatever they want with it. And sod Levy. And either Levy coughs up the money and buys some of that 70%, or the club goes up. So
we won't put an hand in his pocket.
Come on, COVID.
Yeah.
I think the thing is now that football's moved on so far that it's gone are the days where a local millionaire could own a club, and someone like Jack Walker from Blackburn could win the league spending £2.5 million on a player. They're talking about countries owning football clubs now where they've literally put in £2 billion into Man City to get them to where they are. I just can't see that happening anymore. I can't see a club being taken over unless it's someone like Leeds or Newcastle. Spurs they're already valued at $2 billion, aren't they? And then you'd need to spend another £1 billion on the team probably to elevate them to win stuff.
Yeah,
I think what is more likely to happen is that the market will drop because a lot of teams can't afford to pay the wages and transfer fees that they have done in the last few years because of this pandemic. And I just think Chelsea, Man City, will just probably Man United as well will just keep getting better and better and run away with it a little bit. Unfortunately, but I guess that's why we probably want a progressive young manager with cutting edge training facility techniques and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's why we're looking at someone who's a bit
I've just
like Poch can bring in players and rough diamonds and make them into better players.
I'll just throw another name then into the managerial hat. Can we get Harry Potter? Because he can work magic.
Well, I don't mind Potter. I think he'd be a good manager because he gets Brighton playing brilliant football.
Hang on, you're getting confused with Graham and Harry.
Graham and Harry, yeah.
Yeah, you notice I said Potter though. I didn't say Harry Potter.
Yes. Well, it brings us on to another question. I'm pinching off Kirstylee from our Twitter, from Harvey. at THFC Harvey 18. Where will we realistically be in the next 2 or 3 years?
I think it depends on Levy and the boards. I honestly would not even have an idea whereabouts we'll be. I honestly think it just depends on them. And if they're willing to fork out the money to actually try and get us to improve.
I think it's down to recruitment.
I think
Recruitment's been poor.
probably
Hasn't it?
bubbling around about 8th in the league. Like we are
You know
now.
what? I feel optimistic. I feel optimistic that if we keep hold of Bale, and it means we've got Son, Kane, and Bale next season, and then we've got some improvements in the back four. I think the whole weight of the Mourinho tactical thing has been lifted from Spurs. I think we're going to have a lot better season next year. And I don't think that's who we've got in charge. I think it's got to be better. The last 2 seasons have been absolutely awful for football and entertainment and watching them games and enjoying it. I've just not enjoyed any of the games the last 2 years.
So I enjoyed beating United 6-1.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was great. but for every United 6-1, we've had a equally as like gutting defeat, haven't we?
Yeah.
Like Brighton
Yeah.
1-0 and some of them draws that we had against Wolves and Palace when we should have been kicking on. So yeah, it's. I don't think we need too much, I just think we need a couple of really good signings, get rid of some of the deadwood, promote some of the youth like Skip, who's just coming and back off, although he's going to be injured. Sessegnon, get him back firing. I think we'll be a lot better next season.
I agree, actually. So I've just got a eternal optimist. I'm old and bald and grey and.
Well, look at the
been there,
Bale
done it.
thing. Look, the Bale thing's ridiculous. We brought him in. Everyone was excited, and he never got played.
No, got played, and he was sat there looking like he did in his last throws at Real Madrid, and then all of a sudden, past few games, he's been playing, and it looks a different bloke, completely different bloke. But I think it says what we need next season is a settled starting 11. So if he's get the goalkeeper, if it's Lloris, if he stays, great. But settle centre back pairing, right back, left back. Left back's going to be interesting with Reggie and Sessegnon fighting for it. Right back, well, again, will the new manager.
Got to get rid of Aurier.
I was thinking Doherty though. It says he's
Speaking of Aurier, I saw on one of the Spurs forums. How would you fit Aurier in right midfield rather than right back, and have a right back behind him? Would that improve him?
No.
Well, he kind of plays there anyway because he's so positionally poor. He never gets back into position, does he? So, nah.
We all know he's a decent crosser of the ball, but it's just his tackling it, what lets him down.
Which you think as a defender that should be a must.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, so I just think it says if we get a settled back four and a pretty settled starting 11, and the team know what's expected of it, yeah, I think we could do pretty well. But again, it's all ifs and buts, isn't it?
It's typical Spurs hope, isn't it? It's like
what we've always said previously. It's the hope that kills you. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So then, Matt, so you're saying like, where do you think we are in 2 seasons' time? So what do you think the target would be? You winning the Europa League in 2 years?
I think we can certainly challenge for the top 4 a lot better than we have done in the last 2 seasons. I think if Leicester and West Ham can maintain nearly a full season of being there or thereabouts, there's no reason why we can't do that. I mean, we are now, aren't we? To be fair, we could still get in the Champions League place after a terrible season. So that shows me that I know we've relied on Kane and Son mostly, but
do you think if we missed out on Champions League and Europa League this season that we'd be in the position that Leicester and West Ham are? All those, not those extra games, challenging for that top 4 for next season. Would the Europa League or the Conference League be a hindrance?
The Conference League would, yeah. I mean, if we're going to get into the Conference League, we should play the kids. We shouldn't
Yeah, I
be playing
agree with
first team
that.
players in that. It's just ridiculous. I mean, there's no wonder why they want to break away and start a supposed Super League thing when they've got ridiculous tournaments like the Europa. I mean, how many games have we played in that this season? It's ridiculous. Some of the teams we've played against. There should be a separate competition for that. They should have kept the Cup Winners' Cup. The UEFA Cup should have been a second-tier European trophy in the Champions League as it is now. But as it stands now, there's too many teams in that Europa Cup.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but the teams that drop out in Champions League, they should, once you're out Champions League, you should be out.
Yeah, shouldn't have that either.
Yeah.
And that'll limit the number of games.
Yeah, absolutely. So, ladies, what do you think? Where will we be in 2 to 3 years?
Hopefully top 4.
Yeah, I'd like to see us in top 4, but I think it just depends as well, not only on who we get in, who we take out, but we need to improve. I don't know. I personally don't like how we're doing at the minute.
I think we just need a stable squad now. I think that's what we're struggling with, especially the centre backs. They've been swapping and changing them between Dyer and Sanchez and Alderweireld, then Dyer and Alderweireld, and then leaving Alderweireld out. I think that's one of our biggest mistakes this season, is leaving Toby out.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what went on there. I really would, because
So would I.
that was absolutely baffling.
How can you leave our best centre back out? He's our strongest, he's our best, and he knows how to put a long ball over the top and reach the player that he needs to reach.
Yep.
He didn't make many mistakes as well, which I think is
the thing with when Jan was playing. There was that game, and I can't remember who it was, but his legs just went and he couldn't get back, and I think
Chelsea.
he got substituted. Was it the Chelsea game?
Yeah.
And he got substituted, and you could just see that was him done.
I think that was against Southampton or someone. Yeah, he had his head.
Yeah.
Hands, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. His legs just went, and it was such a sad sight to see. But we're not seeing that with Toby. Toby is just, well, I said the other week, my favourite current player. Toby is the guy. Just oozes class. It just fills you with confidence once you see his name on the sheet. He just oozes that confidence, and gives you that extra lift.
Then you see the person next to him, and you think, "Oh no." Obviously, it's Dyer, innit?
Well, this is what I'm saying. It might just take a new centre half, pay a lot of money for a new centre half, get a good right back in. We might be set. Get rid of Sissoko and bring in another midfielder, but
or just get rid of Sissoko.
Yeah,
just get rid of him.
Definitely get rid of Sissoko. He's garbage. Right, so should we move on to members' questions then? So we've had a couple there. Have we got any more?
Yeah, I've got quite a few, but there's one that I thought really made me laugh. It's from from Bella. She said, "Who do you reckon takes longest in the shower out of all the players?"
No, let's say it right. You tried to clean that up. The question was, who is the longest in the shower?
Yeah.
So, ladies, that's down to you two.
Oh, is that actually what she said?
Yes.
Oh, I've misread it. They started talking about noses, and I didn't know what there was on about. I completely misread it. Oh, right. Well, in that case, then I'll change the question.
So, no, the question was, it was from Bella once. Who do you think is the longest in the shower? And I think it was Samantha said, "Who's got the biggest nose?"
Yeah, she said, "Who's got the biggest nose?" I misread it. I thought it was who takes longest. Oh, right. Well, well, I apologise, guys. I'm sorry.
That's all right. There was one question that came in on our podcast chat that is just, I don't know if any of the lads saw that, but we're not using that one at all. It's just not right. The lads have talked about it, but we're keeping that one off the air.
Is it because it's
right? Kirstylee, can you answer the question then?
Oh, I wouldn't know.
I don't know what you would ever would know.
Probably, actually, I'd say Pierre. I reckon.
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
Let's have a look. So Paul Taylor put a really random one. He put, "Who scored the winning goal for Spurs in 1921?
Jimmy
FA Cup final versus Wolves."
Yeah.
Jimmy Dimmock.
Jimmy Dimmock.
Oh,
I didn't know that one.
Yeah, Sheffield, we won 1-0. It was a dire game. I'm not old enough to remember it, but...
I was going to say, you'd be good enough.
So was you there?
Andy.
Yeah, so I'll tell you how I know that. And it's probably...
Facebook.
Is it Google?
Sorry, no. The song When the Year Ends in One. So it was the second verse. It says in 1921, Jink and Jimmy Dimmock scored the winner here. So that's just how I remember it. So yeah, just
good knowledge.
Just like I said, I'm one of those people that can be everybody's best friend in a pub quiz because I just remember really random crap. No idea why or where it's come from, but I just got this really innate memory for rubbish.
Oh, well, if we do win at White Hart, then I'm teaming up with you.
Yeah, you can.
There's one here, actually.
That would be a good one for White Hart, doing a Spurs quiz.
I think quite a lot of people would get involved with it.
It's other things that we're looking at. I mean, when we talk about members stuff in a short while, I'll mention stuff like that and the stuff that we're planning going on from there. But yeah, so go on the next question.
It's quite a good one, actually. It's from, I don't know how you pronounce it. I don't know if it's Donny or Donny, but Jones. What would your thoughts be if Lucas was sold? I've actually got a little answer to this one, but I want to know what you lot think. So we'll start with Summer. Go on then. Why would you be gutted?
I'd be gutted. I mean, I know it's taking it back, but you can't get that feeling at the Champions League when he scored that hat-trick goal. And I think he is one of our best players when he's at his top and when he's really up for it. I just don't think he's a player we should get rid of. Definitely not.
I think he's had a great season this year.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, he doesn't score many and he doesn't set up many, but I tell you what, now that Mourinho was playing him in that like number 10 position, I think, 9 and 10, I always get mixed up which one's which. He's been fantastic in the middle. Not so much on the wing. I don't think he's as good, but when you put him in through the middle and he kind of splits play and he takes it past players, I think he's brilliant when he does that.
Yeah, I think sort of behind Kane's probably his best place. But like behind Kane, maybe behind Bow, like in the middle of Bow and Kane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like just a little bit. I think that's his best place. But I think he's been brilliant this season.
He's really good at winning the ball as well. I think he's really good at closing down. I think he's been great.
I mean, he's the smallest player on the pitch, but he could get a header easy.
Yeah, he's good in the air. Yeah, he's really good in the air. I like him.
Yeah.
I mean, I was frustrated before this season. I was really frustrated with him because you can clearly see there's a player there, but I don't quite think we've seen the best of him at Spurs. But this season, I think he's gone up a level for me. I think.
But for me, it says I think there are other players I would rather see leave first. But if the right bid came in, then it's worth considering. But I think there are other players ahead of him to be shown the door.
Yeah, definitely.
We haven't got really any other player like him. I know Lamella can take a man on, but Lamella's a bit like a headless chicken, isn't he?
Well, there's your answer to my previous statement. Lamella ship sailed for me. He's been there far too long. He's never really. Again, what you're saying is there is a player there, but this will be this his 8th season now, and he's done nothing. Sorry, but yeah.
To be fair, he's scored 2 Rabonas though, which is pretty impressive.
They was nice as well, weren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't sell him.
I think the thing with Lamella is we bought him in to replace Bow, and now we bought Bow back to replace Lamella.
Yep.
Yeah. Ironic.
It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. I'm just looking what else we've got. One that came through from. I'm just trying to find it. We get so much rubbish. Like I say, there was a couple that came up on. I think it was from Insta, but one from Play Pro, which is Scott. We're on Scott. It looks like Dele would leave in the summer, but do you think the new manager would want to keep him and would be able to get the best out of him, or would you rather cash in and try and reinvest? Again, same question as.
Yeah, we had a few on Twitter with that one, like from Sarah Hill. She asked the same: would we get to see Dele back to his best? now that he's got more chance to play. I think personally, the more we play Delhi, I think the more you'll see the old him come back. But personally, I think it'd be good for him to have a learn, like just for a season. I think it'd probably recharge his batteries a bit, give him a bit of a kick up the arse, and then see where he is from there when he comes back. That's what I'd do anyway.
Yeah,
I think it's all down to confidence.
Send him out on loan, see how he reacts with a loan, and you know what you're going to get back.
Yeah.
I don't think his ego would take that.
No, I don't. Unless it was Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah.
I think he'd follow. I think he'd go to Poch if he went anywhere.
I don't see that. I don't see there's any benefit from Tottenham's point of view of loaning him out though.
I don't.
I'd rather sell him.
Thing is, when we say we paid 5 mil, if we got 25, 30 mil, we made a profit, and Mr. Levy loves a profit. I just don't think his ego would take it. I think it'd either be a case of I'm not going on loan, either sell me or don't. And I think he's arrogant enough to warrant it. Personally, I'd love to see him stay. And again, just seeing this player with a bit of a smile on his face coming back, I think next couple of games, if he starts, we've got Leeds tomorrow, and so yeah, hopefully we'll see the best out of him in the next couple of games and start finding that form, that spark, that Delhi that we all love. And
we haven't seen that for years. We haven't seen that Delhi getting on for. If he's there next season, it'll be nearly 3 seasons that we haven't seen him at the top of the game. And
Which is why
I want him to stay. I want him to, play with Bale, Son, and Kane, because I think he's good when he's got good players around him. The problem is, you could see the other day, I know he was rusty and everything, but he's too slow. I just think he's too slow on the ball. He slows everything down. I think he thinks he's too much of a good player. I think he thinks he's better than what he is, personally. I don't know.
Yeah, quite possible.
I really liked him a few years ago when he was knocking in 18 goals a season. But as I say, we haven't seen that for a while, have we?
Mourinho kind of wiped his hands with him, I thought, quite early on. Like, you could see as well in the documentary, couldn't you? Like, he just seemed to be done with Delhi, and then he stopped playing him. Yeah, he literally called him it as well.
Yeah, did. So again, right manager coming in, arm on the shoulder. I don't know.
Hopefully, I'd like to see the old Delhi back. I think he's got it in him to come back. But I think it just needs a change just needs to happen for him to bring that back. So I don't think at the minute it'll happen. I think he needs to be played more, definitely.
I think it's all down to his confidence. I think he lost his confidence a lot, especially when Mourinho come in and he just pushed him to the side, left him. He didn't even put him on the bench, and you could see it was putting a whole weight on his shoulders. And he was like, "If I'm not being played, then I think he felt like I'm not being played. Why am I going to bother trying if this man's not going to play me, even if I am doing my best?" I think that's what.
Yeah.
Can I throw a question out there then to you all? Was the Amazon documentary a good thing or a bad thing?
Both.
I don't think it was a good thing.
I personally think that it was good to see, like, aside to the players, we actually just saw the players for who they are in a way, because obviously we just see them on a pitch, don't we? But I think it was a bad thing that they've painted like this golden light on kind of. Well, I think they made Jersey out to be like this little angel, but all the players obviously had a problem with him, especially towards the end before he went. I don't think that was a good thing. I think just the good side of it was to see the players for who they are rather than the actual team.
I think Jose did come out of it quite well.
Yeah.
But I think
did.
The thing for me, looking back on it now, is we're so good at making ourselves laughing stocks, aren't we? So all them Amazon documentaries where it's all about the winning, and the previous one with Man City where they won the title, and it was all about, what did we win? We won a fucking Europa League place, and that was it. The end of the series, the finale of this build-up was us getting a 5th place Europa.
Yeah,
there's no glory in that, is there? It was. I think it was a bit of a vanity thing for Daniel Levy to. I think he'd done a deal with Amazon for his e-com store to be on Amazon. I think that was the first one of its kind, and I think it was probably tied into that deal of getting exposure and getting us into America. And
as you say about Mourinho came out quite well. I thought Levy came across really well in it, but as I always say in my reviews, it's editing. We can all look good in editing.
Yeah.
So it's about all the shit that we didn't see. Danny Rose was the pantomime villain of the piece. Dele Alli was made a scapegoat. These are the things that brushed. I mean, not so much Danny Rose, but it was brushed over. But it's showing how Mourinho, he did ostracise those couple of players and how it developed. So, yeah,
I don't know. Going back to the Levy thing, I'm struggling with this get Levy out thing because I'm really torn between. On one hand, there's no getting away from the fact that we've won one League Cup in 20 years, and I think that's absolutely diabolical. But then there's the other thing that for every Sheikh Mansour or Abramovich, there's a Mike Ashley. So it's kind of like we're at the top end of having a good chairman. The problem I've got is we just, at the times where we need to invest in the squad, to stick our necks out and do it and get it over the line, we just fuck it up every time. Goes back to Redknapp. Was we second or something like that to Man City or whatever it was, and we, Redknapp wanted to bring in Tevez, we wanted to bring in Gary Cahill, we got Saha and
Nielsen,
Nelson, I think it was.
Nelson,
Pochettino kicking on from that season where we finished second. We didn't buy anyone for two. Yeah. We never bought anyone. Champions League. Pochettino saying it's painful rebuild. We got 2 players in. Never happened. So whenever we need to get it over the line, sacking Mourinho 6 days before a cup final. It's all these weird things that we do to stop ourselves from winning. Now, no other club would do that. So it's timing, but I just think if we got rid of Levy, you just never know where you're going to get in.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
And that's the it's almost like I don't know, you become accustomed to, let's just stick with what we know. It might turn out that we get someone like Roman Abramovich and we go and win everything, which would be nice. But for me, I think it's a real shame that when we had Pochettino and we was doing it right and we was getting second and we was buying young players that we didn't pay a lot for, and was building this squad with spirit, that was really exciting. I just would have loved to have seen that actually bring some trophies in.
Yeah. God, can you imagine the penalties we've had if we had a Sandro and a Fernandes?
The right players at the wrong time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I just think it's a shame because on the other hand, you look at someone like Man City and Chelsea and like everyone in the country saying, well, they've bought it.
Yeah.
Which is, I agree to a certain degree, but yeah.
I mean, Chelsea, it was stick or twist for them, wasn't it? They sacked Frank, they brought Tuchel in. And, everybody's saying, they should have given him the season and everything else. But, I mean, look at them now, they're in the Champions League final.
Yeah.
It's a gamble that paid off for them.
But then, Andy, look at what we've been discussing. They spent 240 million quid.
Absolutely.
Did he bring the German manager in to look after his 2 German players that he bought, Havertz and Werner? So you just don't know. It's a stick or twist.
Anyway, let's move on. Have we got any more questions?
Let me have a quick look.
Yeah, I've got one. What players do we wish we kept?
If there was one player that we wish we could kept.
What from previous seasons or?
It sounds. Yeah, I mean, it sounds cliche, but I would have kept Dembele.
Musa, yeah, he was a good player. He was a really good player, Musa. Although at the time, I remember being
brilliant.
Yeah, he was brilliant, but he didn't score many either, did he? I mean, I don't know. He was great for the team. Modric for me.
Sorry, chaps. Can I just interject? 36 minutes. Leicester City 0, Newcastle 2.
Oh, game.
Yeah, sorry, I just had that in there. Sorry, Summer. What question? Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
That is good news.
That's
I tell
great
you what,
news.
Leicester's running as well is really
That's
difficult.
lovely.
Well, it's Newcastle, Chelsea, Man United, and then us. So
we might end up with Rodgers after all.
yeah.
Let's hope we smash them at the end of the season.
Player I wish we'd kept. Oh God, I mean, I'm old. Clive Allen, can we dig him up? Glenn Hoddle, Chris Waddle, Ginola.
You have to pick one, Andy.
Pick one. Modric. Yes, I loved him. I thought he was class. I'll stick with Modric.
Yeah, I'd go Modric as well.
You can't outpick him. You've got to pick somebody different.
Middle, don't I? You could just like find the pass from nowhere.
Yeah.
I say Ericsson.
Yeah, I was going to say that, but
I was thinking
Oh, was that?
well, look what he's done.
Yeah.
He's won more this year than what Spurs have won in God knows how many years.
Yeah, but so's Oliver Skip, and he was at Norwich.
Yeah.
I saw something the other day which made me laugh. It said if Kane would have stayed at Norwich,
Like, he'd have
won 3 trophies.
We would have won 3 trophies.
That's mad. That is mad. So I think we've more or less covered a lot of the questions that we've had. There are a couple more in there, but we might save them because we're just thinking about time. But what about the questions for the girls? I don't know if Ben's told Kirstylee about this.
Oh no, he hasn't. He's not actually told me anything. I said to him, "Oh, you're gonna give me some like tips," and then he was like, "No, just keep your camera on and your mic on." I was like, "Oh, right, all right."
So what we've done throughout every guest that we've had, it's just more of a getting to know you. And a couple of weeks ago, we had the committee special where the 6 of us, we all had a chat. So it's really just a case of, obviously, we've already introduced you, and I'm too much of a gentleman to ask you your age, so I'm not going to ask that one. Well, both you two ladies, how long you supported Spurs?
Who's going first? Shall I go first? Or shall you go first? But I'll go first because I'm already gabbing.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I'm not going to say my upbringing, but I started getting into Spurs when I met Ben 6 years ago. But my interest within the team didn't start till maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. So I'm not like a diehard from birth fan, like what I'm forcing my kids to be. But yeah, I've grown like a strong interest over it, obviously through Ben. Like, I think I'd like to go to a game most definitely. We've not had the opportunity to go to one yet, but that's definitely something that when everything settles, because obviously we're allowed the fans now out. Is it like 10,000 or something
10,000,
like that?
Yeah.
I'd love the opportunity to go to one, definitely. But yeah, I've not supported them as long as obviously all of yous have, or a lot of Spurs fans, to be fair. But I've supported them long enough to know what to expect. To not get me up. So,
Summer.
It'll be 17 years in 8 days I've supported this club. I mean, I didn't follow them from.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, I was just going to say it's very, very specific. Like roughly how old you are, by any chance? So the next
yeah.
next question.
I didn't.
Go on, yeah, come on.
I was just going to say I didn't follow them from obviously. I think I mostly got into it in about year 8 when I got into football, but I've supported them since birth.
So, I mean, Kirstylee's more or less answered this question. So leave this one for you, Summers, with why Spurs, and obviously we think we all know the answer, but yeah, for everybody else listening, why Spurs?
Yeah, it's a family thing. It runs in the blood. I don't bleed red blood. I bleed blue and white.
I love it.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
It's a family thing.
Simon bleeds half red with his Rovers Hull Kingston Rovers connection.
Yeah.
So some will know what they are.
No,
the
probably
Rugby Super League team.
Yeah. Super League, don't mention Super League. No. So, ladies, your favourite ever player? Oh, yeah, your favourite ever player for Spurs.
Ooh.
I'm just going to straight up just say Kane. I know a lot of people are just saying, oh, that's an easy choice or whatnot, but how can it not be? Like, you see all the goals he's put in, the talent he's got. He's man.
It's a difficult one because I've always loved Winks, but I think I'd go with Lennon.
Yeah,
When I was younger, my mum would put the football on, I'd go, oh, Aaron Lennon's playing, and I think it's just stuck me that I've always loved Lennon.
Well, we've all said them, haven't we, lads?
So, yeah,
when we've
him.
done these, it says we've all got specific memories of like our favourite players and stuff that they did, and it's little memories like that I think just really stick with you. So
yeah.
So the next question then was your favourite current player, and I think I've just already had 2 answers, but let's go.
Yeah, man just sticks the same.
Definitely
It's
Harry Winks.
definitely Kane.
Kane and Winks. Yeah.
2 Harrys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we all know who Faith's favourite player is. She's literally Sonny mad.
I know it's so. We just can't wait to get back in pub and just get.
Yeah, me and Ben was saying that we're hoping that obviously. I think was everyone going to White Hart for the last game of the season?
Well, there's a few of us going in. Me and Anna are going in. Zoe and Wayne are coming. We think we're having a meeting, but we don't know. But we'll discuss that another time. But yeah, there's certainly going to be a few of us in there. Whether the game's on or not, we're going to go in for a Veltins and sit and hopefully open it up. So yeah, get your bums down there. It would be great. So the final question then was your best Spurs memory beyond the Champions League.
But I think when my brother walked out with Ledley King as a mascot.
Oh, wow.
It was an amazing day.
Yeah, that's a bit
secretly
special.
a bit jealous.
Where's it gone?
When was that then? Was that quite a long time ago?
My Wi-Fi.
Is she freezing?
Where's it gone? That's better. I didn't hear that my Wi-Fi went.
Yeah.
I said, was that a long time ago? When was that?
Yeah, he I can't remember the year, but it was a while back. He was very young, and we went to get his hair cut the day before, and I think he had THC in the back of his hair. It was an amazing day. The whole family was there. It was amazing.
Yeah, because you go to quite a lot of the games, don't you? With like all your family. There's like your mum and your uncle and everyone, isn't there? There's quite a lot of you.
Yeah, I think we've been to 3 at the stadium. Oh, was it? Last season, I think. Yeah, last season we went to 3 at the new stadium last season, and the last one we went to was when we was knocked out by Norwich. And
was it you shouting abuse at Eric Dyer's brother?
No, but I saw him run into the stands. I was like, "Mum, he's in the stands."
Was
you near
it?
So we was on the corner flag in the we was on the corner flag, and Dyer, he was so close. Like we were so close to him in the stands. It was crazy.
Did you know what was happening? Or did you just see him running and think, what the hell is he doing?
I just saw him jump the barrier thing, and he slipped over about 4 chairs, jumped about 8 of them. It was crazy.
When you think about it, what was he actually going to do? Was he going to just fight with everyone in the crowd?
Sorry,
I saw the stewards drag him away. I was like, oh, but I didn't see exactly what happened. I just saw stewards drag him away before he ran at this fan. It was nuts.
Yeah.
It was a crap game, that I remember.
It was awful.
Yeah, it really was.
So depressed after that game.
We're depressed a lot after games, so we get used to it.
It's a Spurs thing.
So yeah, that's all it is. It's just to getting to know you. That's all it is. So nothing painful. That's it. All of them.
Right. Okay. So we'll probably move on to predictions for the next game then against Leeds. Unless Simon, you want to reveal the poll?
Oh yeah, the podcast poll. £60 for a ticket for the Aston Villa game. Is it a fair price?
Now, I had a bit of a different opinion to everyone that was commenting on that, actually, because I personally don't agree with the price. I think that it's greedy, but if it meant that I could go to a game, I would pay it. So, especially after, like everything with lockdown and everything, I think a lot of the fans especially will think, oh, do you know what, sod it, I'll just pay it. So I voted yes for that reason, but do I think it's fair for it to be that much? No.
I could see where Levy's done it, because it's like everybody's been missing it, and he thought, well, I can cash in while I can.
Yeah. He knows that people will pay it.
Aren't they about that anyway, though?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I thought that there was even a bit more.
Like
whenever I've gone to look at prices, they've been like a bit more than 60 quid. So if someone offered me a ticket for 60 quid, I'd have it.
Yeah, I mean Villa would be a category C game, wouldn't it? So it'd be the lower end. It's not your Man United and Arsenal's, but I completely agree with Kirstylee. It doesn't feel a particularly fair price, but would I pay it if I got offered the chance? Yeah, damn right I would. So
I think because the other teams, they put their prices down, aren't they? Like 30, 35 quid. I think that's where the issue is.
But I mean, with Liverpool and Arsenal, they've got a lot of trouble with fans protesting and. Oh, hang on a minute. So they need to try and apologise to their fans, and it's such a lovely gesture from their club to reduce the prices, and we don't have to because our divine chairman is wonderful.
I think it's just symptomatic of where football's gone. I mean, I think it's been about 60 odd quid for the last 5 or 6 years anyway. I think.
The most I've spent, I went quite a few years ago, and I think I paid about 120 quid a ticket for the Arsenal game, and there was 2 of us. And
that's a lot of money, isn't it?
Yeah,
football match.
Yeah, and I think we drew 1-1, which was made it even worse. So, but no, it's I think from our perspective, the fact that it's such a long way. If you go in, you make a day of it, and it says you'll do whatever. So, like, you pay it. I mean, I think Joe paid last year. I think we paid about 80 quid each for the Man City game in last February before lockdown.
The thing is, as well, though, obviously summer it must be great for you because you're so close to the stadium anyway. I mean, for us guys, we'd have to pay like what is it to get on a train now to London?
I've actually been pricing that up. So for me and Ben to get a train just for a return to London, because we was going to meet some of our friends from the Lillywhites page in the summer, we priced it up and it was £235 just for me and Ben on a train.
We're going. It all depends on. I mean, we've booked to go in July. We're down at the stadium. We're doing the day walk and that. This is when you book in advance. We've got our trains and we've paid 58 quid return.
Oh, shut up!
The best thing I've ever done. When we was at the Champions League at Wembley, Spurs did the 3 games, the 3 group games for 75 quid. So 25 quid a game. I took the time off work. I got Megabus to London. God's honest truth, I paid £2.50 return. I paid.
Them Megabuses are great, aren't they?
I mean, it's 6 hours on a bus there. Well, it takes you to East Midlands, and then you get a train in from East Midlands. But £2.50, you can't get across Hull for £2.50.
No, you can't. It's like £3.70.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
I like how you know that, Kirstylee.
Oh, I do. I'm a busman, I don't drive.
Yeah, I think 60 quid. To me, it sounds reasonable. Don't forget,
I agree.
They don't have people in the ground for a year. They need to make some money, don't they?
Right, going back to the results then, 9 people voted yes, they would pay it, and 30 people said no, they won't pay it.
Interesting.
I think I would challenge those 30 people if you got offered the chance. Saying that, though, there was some guy on Twitter who's actually bought a ticket or bought 2 tickets, and he was flogging them for 90.
Oh no! I think he was taking the piss with that.
Was he taking the piss? Yeah.
Yeah, I've got him on. Is it called Mark or something like that?
Yeah.
Well, I've got him on Twitter, and he he does like to banter quite a bit. I think he was messing.
Fair enough.
What's the-
People was
what's-
taking him real serious.
What's the season ticket cost for at Spurs? How much is it? Does anyone know?
I think it depends. I got offered one
it's
the other
ridiculous
year.
prices.
Yeah, I got offered one for Wembley when we were there for the season while we were getting rebuilt, and the ones that they offered me at the end of everybody else was 2,200.
That is mad.
Yeah, and so I'm quite lucky with my membership. I think I'm something like 18,000 on the waiting list, and they said there might be a chance that I could get one, but you can't justify it. You're still looking anywhere between 1,500 quid and £2,500, and
Yeah, well, I actually know someone that at the moment, it's all over our page. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called Gordon. He's in a competition at the minute to win some money for his daughter. She's only 2, bless her, and she's got cerebral palsy. But if he was to win, he's actually got 2 season tickets that he's just going to give at random, like to someone who's helps vote for him. So by all means, if obviously you've heard of him, Simon, but if Matt, Summer, or Sam, and if any of Andy, if any of you lot haven't, that could be worth doing if you if you did want to potentially try it.
So what
as helping him out.
What we'll do at the end of this, I'll get the information. I'll post it on our page, and
that'd be great
as well. Every little helps. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll get that promoted for him.
Okay, so we'll move on then. Last thing before we end the podcast, we've got Leeds United tomorrow.
3-1, I think.
I think it's going to be a difficult match. You're going 3-1, Kirstylee.
Yeah, I think Kane and then 2 from Bale.
Summer, what do you think is going to happen?
I get so scared to predict the score. I'm going to get bad luck. I've never predicted them. I'm very, very wary about it. Games for about 4 years. I really don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because
I'm stuck on it.
You can
really
tell she's a Spurs fan.
Teams.
Yeah. Simon, what do you think? Let's relieve the pressure on her.
Well, you don't know. For one, you don't know which Spurs team's going to turn up, and you don't know which Leeds team's going to turn up.
Yeah, that's true.
The Newcastle score is going to be correct tonight, and they'll win. That means Spurs will probably balls it up tomorrow. So I sit on the fence and go for a draw. 2-2.
Score?
2-2.
Desmond, what do you think, Andy?
2-0 Spurs.
You seem pretty confident about that.
We're not going to concede. Are you sure?
I'm absolutely positive. Yeah,
we do like a clean sheet.
I have got it on good authority that Phillips and Rafinha aren't playing. Harrison's going to go off in the first 20 minutes with injured. So, no, sad. My mate's a Leeds fan, and I just want to wind him up anyway. So, yeah, 2-0 Spurs.
I'm going to go 3-2. I think it'll be an end-to-end match. I think we'll probably go 1-0 up, then we'll be 2-1 down, and then we'll win 3-2. I can see it being an entertaining game. Mm-hmm. But can I just quickly add, one of the highlights of the season this year has probably been last night seeing Arsenal get knocked out of the Europa Cup. the actual delight I had when I saw it all time, it was 0-0. It felt like do you know when like Spurs win against a big team? It felt like that. So I just want to put that out there. That was probably the highlight of my season.
I did enjoy watching the clips from the Arsenal TV. God, the dual Paddy.
Surely he's got to. That's got to be exaggerated. No, did you see?
Did you see it where he was kicking? Was it a lamp or a light or something?
He kicked something, and you think,
is it the guy with the little black midget?
You can't say that, little person. No, he's the one with the baseball cap. He's always rolling your face, and the guy's a prick. Sorry, he's just a prick.
I enjoyed seeing Smith Rowe cry.
there was something that I read earlier on Twitter. I was just seeing if I could find it. It was something like, it says, Spurs sacked the manager. We, get beat by Croatian farmers. We lost the final, everything. We sacked the manager, all these different things, and yet Arsenal are still having a worse season than us. And it does fill you with a little bit of joy. But
I think the best things that they sacked, what's his name?
Emery.
I forgot. That's the one. They sacked Emery and then he
Yeah.
knocks them out. I think that's the
Yeah.
best thing. That's
that is
quality.
poetic, isn't it? Yeah. So just before we move on, we'll just give a shout out to our predictions league. We've had a couple of games in there, just the top few. It's getting a bit tasty at the top. We've had a few good results, and we've got Steve Casey still on 6. Lee Melton, Barry Thurkettle, they're climbing up and they're on 7 points. Ben and myself on 8 points, and Dan Lawrence is on 9.
And I'm on 0.
Are you not on the list?
No,
Oh.
every time that I've actually got a right score, I've not commented on the post. So now Ben's like, Kirst, you better get on that post. And every time I'm on it, I don't chuffing win. So I'm hoping tomorrow they don't let me down. They will, but I hope they don't.
Yeah. But no, so yeah, there we go. So that's the predictions league. 4 games left. Hope everybody carries on. There's a couple of beers in it, I think, Scott said, for the end of the season for the winner. So let's hope it's tasty.
Well, I best tell Ben to get his thinking cap on then, so I can pinch him.
Right, okay. Well, thanks a lot, Summer, for joining us today. Thanks, Kirstylee.
Thank
It's
you for
all right.
having me.
Yeah,
Could
thank
I
you.
just put one last
welcome
thing
to
in
the-
before we go?
Go on.
I put a post on the group yesterday, just for fun. What do we all reckon Levy's ringtone is on his phone? So I'm going to give a few shout outs here. Vincent Deere, Money, Money, Money. Tracy Davidson, Money Makes the World Go Around. Mark Allen, with Dirty Cash, Money Talks. And the best one was by Robbo, Opportunities by the Pet Shop Boys.
Let's make lots of money.
Have
These
you got anything to add to that?
Simon, that sounds as though you need to do a Spotify playlist.
Yeah, it does actually. We should have that. We're walking in theme for White Art. Just doing that. It is. It really gets you thinking, though, doesn't it? It says, what would he have? I'd think he's actually 2 types per favour for anything. So I bet it's just that original Nokia tone. That yeah, he won't pay for a ring.
Or he gets a message and it goes, ching.
Good fun.
Right, okay. Well, thanks again for joining us. Join us next time on the next episode of the Glory Game. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you
Come on,
Spurs.
you Spurs.
Cheers.
Cheers.
The Glory Game, brought to you by Hull Spurs, an official Tottenham supporters group. The personal views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the authors and do not reflect the official position of the supporters group.